birthday. There's
Your
nothing.
dick's 20 inches.
There's not.
Oh, what the f*** is wrong with you? Jesus.
There's nothing. There's
You caught me
nothing.
off guard. I wouldn't even look. I need you.
I'm sorry, bro. I mean, you gotta understand. It starts 5, 4.
Yeah, I didn't see the timer. I was looking over there.
2, 1, and a 0.
I had 5 seconds to not say something.
And you did, but
that's getting chopped.
It'll get blurred, I guess. I don't know.
Just chop it.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to a brand new episode of On It. We are here. You got me. You got Devin. And I just want to say one thing before I ask Devin how you're doing. I got one thing to say. If the Rashard Mendenhall Bowl ever happens, I just want to say QB1 for the Whites, it's gotta be Joe Flacco. I mean, come on, bro.
What a fucking elite.
What are we talking about at this point? Because I mean, come on. This Thursday night football game that we're about to talk about, there's not much to say when it comes to the actual game or like the competition that was not shown.
Well, also, like I said, turnovers could be a problem. Flacco, they were up, 27-7?
Something like that, yeah.
Flacco threw or 27-10 or whatever. Flacco threw a pick six. Dude right in front of him, threw it at him, tipped it up in the air. That's the reason they have 20 points. It's 37, maybe more, to 13. Flacco's a beast.
I mean,
an elite quarterback.
Joe Flacco was, is, and always will be an elite quarterback. I think Joe Flacco might be the most disrespected, awarded quarterback, or like accomplished quarterback. If that makes sense, like what description am I trying to find here? Like he is the most.
Yeah, he's
underrated.
Yeah.
Like if there's any other quarterbacks in today's game.
Not he's not underrated in terms of talent. He might be, but he's underrated in terms of like what he's done. It was never truly attributed to Joe Flacco. And then how actually good he could be.
Joe Flacco, you got to remember at the time, look, take Lamar out of it. Take Lamar completely out of this. Before that, Joe Flacco was the best quarterback we've ever had.
By a good bit.
And there's no question, there's no argument about it. And it just seems like, I don't know, there's a lot of quarterbacks. Look, I don't want to say that there's a lot of quarterbacks that come off the bench week 12 and go in and throw 304 straight games. But the fact that there's not a bunch of other quarterbacks before Joe that you're not surprised about, but Joe is the one that you're like, I can't believe it. It's like, no. This isn't Nick Foles got a huge contract after falling in the perfect opportunity to win a Super Bowl and wins a Super Bowl. And then turns out he can't stay healthy. This isn't like this. Joe Flacco isn't some guy that was like, given an opportunity, he got this opportunity. It's like, no. He got drafted and then went to the playoffs 6 straight years, which I guarantee you, if Joe Burrow or Tua or Justin Herbert does that or will do that, it will be a huge thing. No matter what the outcome of those playoff games is. They won't talk about the fact that the Ravens, especially when Joe Flacco was their quarterback, was one of the only competition to the Patriots when it came to playoff time in the AFC.
The NFL is shifted because the NFL, it used to be like the older guys, at least in the quarterback position, were the dudes who were being chased. And now it's like, hey, we got this new guy who's chasing all the other old guys, but he's the most popular. Like, it's all the young fuckers. But because some of the older guys have been phased out, now it's like, hey, Joe Burrow's the best we've ever seen. And it's like, no, he's not. He's not that good.
Well, that's the thing. I think every team now thinks that their young guy is the diamond in the rough or is the next guy. When it's like, obviously, every team should think that way.
Sure, but
I guess
some of these dudes have better careers when they mature, when they get a little bit older.
Yeah.
But you're putting all this pressure on these young guys to fucking win you a Super Bowl year 2. Like Lamar, like he should have won a Super Bowl already. He's fucking 26 years old. Shut the fuck up. Dude, fucking Brady won 3 after he was 40. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
What are you
yeah,
doing?
yeah. You do have
Who
a point.
cares if he
But that's
wins
the
year
thing.
2?
Brady has skewed our perspectives. John Elway winning 2 on his way out skewed our
And his
perspective.
way out. I know, but a
Um,
lot of guys have won late.
Peyton Manning with his neck hanging on by a thread on his winning one. It's quarterbacks. I think it skews our perspective a little bit. But
Sure.
let's talk more about Joe and the Thursday night football game. But I want to talk
Thursday
more
night
about
football.
Joe because I
Yeah.
was just I don't know, bro. It's like this is truly the only quarterback. Like every single quarterback you could give me, there's at least one time where I watched and it's like I wanted nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least
Trace
one
McSorley.
time. At least one time. And I mean, as an opponent, like there's a lot of quarterbacks I love watching, Aaron Rodgers, but there might be moments where I don't want anything to do with you, and it might not be because you're playing my team. But
Yeah.
like all I have to say is like I'm
No one
worried.
wants to see the
Like
Browns.
I'm worried that I'm not gonna be mad if he's the one that knocks us out of the playoffs.
I know. I know.
Like
I
that's
know.
the problem because it's like, damn. If we lose to Josh Allen, I got to hear about that all year, and then I got to hear about how much Josh Allen is, how
How much
better
better he
Josh
is
Allen is,
than
how much better
Lamar,
Tua is, or Patrick Mahomes,
and
or
how
whatever.
Josh Allen should have won MVP because he threw 40 touchdowns and 25 picks.
The Browns win. Haha, the Ravens lose, but it's gonna be more about the Cinderella story of Joe Flacco
Exactly.
than anything. And it's like, bro, as a Ravens fan, if I can't see the Ravens win, a Joe Flacco Cinderella story is what I would root for. Okay, I'm
I think
sorry.
that'd be sick.
I'm
Now,
sorry.
now, now, say Joe wins a Super Bowl, maybe has like 2 more good years. Is he a Hall of Famer?
If Joe Flacco wins a Super Bowl at 38 years old,
I think he's a Hall of Famer if he wins the Super Bowl.
2 Super Bowl MVPs,
I mean, Eli's got 2,
2 Super Bowl MVPs.
doesn't he?
But I'm saying, are you saying he's getting a Super Bowl MVP this year in this hypothetical?
Oh yeah. I
Okay.
mean, they don't have Nick Chubb. They don't have a star who could win unless they have a big defensive game and Myles Garrett wins it. But
Yeah. No, I think he would probably be the guy. I mean, yeah,
I think that'd be fucking sick.
he could be a gold jacket
But
guy. Why not? I don't.
you
I
know how
mean,
funny that would be, dude? If he has like a,
I'd love it. I would
I mean,
love to see
because
Joe Flacco
I,
go in
I
the Hall of
thought
Fame.
I thought Joe was out of the game for longer. He was a backup in New York for 3 years.
Mm,
He, I think his touchdown to interception ratio was like 16-4, but they were 1-8, and it's just because the Jets fucking sucked.
you gotta understand that
Flacco isn't that bad.
Joe simply got hurt, and Lamar Jackson happened to be his backup.
A Heisman winner, exactly.
Joe Flacco could have went and started for another team next year on a solid roster and taken them to the playoffs.
Yeah,
He was going to do that year with the Ravens. So, and no discredit to Lamar, no discredit to Lamar, but I'm saying
Lamar did go 6-1 and make the playoffs.
I spent a lot of years having confidence in the Ravens with Joe Flacco being our quarterback. So, I mean, I don't remember going to that year like, hey, it's over. Like, I mean, I'm like,
No,
it's I
but once Lamar hit the scene, it was like, yeah, there's no real place for Joe.
I mean, did you see Joe? I mean, he was falling asleep.
Dude, what the fuck was that? Did he have a long night with his
I
kids or something?
mean,
What the
first of
hell?
all,
How is that possible? You're playing a football game.
that's my sleepy Joe. If anything, like that, if we're talking, if I ever hear Sleepy Joe again, we better be talking about Joe Flacco
We're talking about Joe Flacco.
and not politics because that was amazing. That like I
But Joe
said,
Flacco is political.
all that glazing we gave Joe, and it's like just to
Joe
add
Biden?
or no Flacco, just to add on
No.
top of that, it's like bro to see him throw for 300 yards and just bust up an NFL defense and like rest on the sideline just. I mean, falling asleep. It was
He was
something.
wiping his face. He was, oh.
I mean, I just didn't think in 2023 week 17 I would see Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco meeting up in after the game, and Aaron Rodgers is the one that didn't play. I just don't. I don't know. I just didn't understand. And Joe Flacco's the one that threw for 300 fucking yards. I just didn't
I
think
mean,
that was gonna be our
people are
life.
like, this takes the Tommy DeVito story and turns it up 6,000 times
What
because
do you
this
mean?
is actually good play. Like, how big did Tommy DeVito thing actually blew up?
Yeah, yeah. The
It was like a
Tommy, like,
TikTok trend that there was an Italian in football. But this is sick. This is great for the NFL. This shows that, hey, who like if you've done it, you can maybe fucking muster a couple of games
can,
together and do it again.
can I just say, if I'm any other Italian in the NFL, I'm pissed because it's like
Exactly.
this is the Italian we're gonna praise.
Joe Flacco's fucking
Because
Italian.
here's the thing: if his name was Tommy Johnson, nobody would care, and
No.
and nobody would be going, oh, look at his agent, he's a mob boss. Like, no, bro, it's yeah, no, the Joe Flacco story is a lot more entertaining than that Tommy DeVito
And there's
story.
good football. And I think the Browns, like, they have a great team. Jerome Ford looks pretty decent. You got Kareem Hunt, who's great on the goal line. And Njoku's a beast. He had 100 some yards in the first half. In the
Joe
first quarter, he
loves.
had 120 yards. He
That's
loves
the
tight ends.
thing. That's
I said this a few weeks ago when he was running with Njoku. He knows how to play tight end football. And this game was without Amari Cooper.
yeah. People and people were trying to because of last week how crazy Amari went. They were trying to. I know there were some people trying to pin the reasoning for Joe being successful was maybe because of Amari Cooper. And it's
Amari
like,
Cooper.
no, it's like we got 4 straight
He
games
knows
now.
how to play with a tight end.
I mean, they did their thing. The Jets did their thing. They blew out Cleveland. There's not really. I mean,
And correct me if I'm wrong, clinched the playoff spot now.
mm-hmm,
I mean, how sick is
mm-hmm.
that?
Clinch a playoff spot. I mean,
4-1 with Joe Flacco.
The Cleveland Browns were chanting Joe Flacco's name.
How fucking
Like
sick
the
is that, dude?
Cleveland Brown, and I think, look, the Cleveland Browns and Ravens fans, I think we can just both agree that it's great for us to be on top. Not us as the Ravens, but like us too. Whatever. I'm sure
Sure.
y'all would feel a little more happy about that if the records were reversed, but and we get to watch Pittsburgh and Cincinnati drown.
Yeah,
What else could you ask for? If you couldn't be
it's
number
pretty sick.
one, if you couldn't be number one in the AFC North as the Browns, is that not the second best thing you could ask for?
Oh, it's
I'm
probably the
just
best
saying.
thing you could ask for. I don't even know if you can ask for a number one spot
So yeah,
in the
I
AFC
mean
North.
that's really all. I mean, C.J.
But
Mosley and Joe meeting up after. It's like, damn.
so tough, dude.
So look at my Ravens just blossoming.
Dude, so sick.
just
It's beautiful.
look at my
And, but
guys.
that's the thing about that's like I know I'm not a Ravens fan, but that's what I love about like the Raven culture is that it's like truly like a real like hard nosed brotherhood, and
Most of the
everyone
time,
who's been there has said that.
most of the
I mean,
time,
Shannon was there for what 2 years, and those are his fucking 2 or 3 years.
yeah, that's the thing. Most of the time, once you become a Raven, you're always a Raven.
Always a Raven.
Like I mean,
It's a different way of
look at the
football and
ties.
life.
Look at the ties like Rod Woodson. Like he spends a bunch of time with the Steelers and a little bit of time with the Ravens, and he still loved being a Raven. I'm
Exactly.
I mean I'm sure I had to do some research. I'm sure Dion loved his year as a Raven. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, but
I
also
guarantee you he did. The relationship he has with Ray, just off of that, I bet you he was like, yeah, no, I want to go play with Ray and be a Raven. Like, why, fuck it, why not?
for
Like,
sure. Also,
you got to look at all the veteran
I'm
guys
gonna
that
be every time Dion opens his mouth, I become less and less of a fan of that person.
sure, but look at all the veterans like Clowney, Kyle Van Noy. There, I mean, like there's
Yeah.
guys that want to be there because they know they I don't know. People like the way I think a lot of people
Well,
like the way
it's
we operate.
also like it's a place where like a lot of guys go because they know they're gonna play real football, and for in a lot of cases, it kind of brings back some people's careers. Jadavion Clowney's balling right now. Van
Mm-hmm.
Noy's been doing well.
Mm-hmm.
He's fitting in, but they're playing hard nosed
Don't
football.
forget.
All of
I
them.
mean, Calais Campbell. What's he doing in
Calais
Atlanta?
Campbell was there. Justin Houston was there.
Mm-hmm.
JPP was there.
Mm-hmm.
Like just big ass names
I
of
forgot
some
all
dogs.
about. I forgot all about. I forgot all about JPP. Yeah, you reminded me
Like
of that. That's crazy.
just some dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, all right.
And yeah,
But I think that's all I got for the Thursday night game. I was just more excited to talk about Joe than the game. Honestly, I
yeah.
could care
Like
less about the game. The
the
Jets
Browns
suck.
are in the playoffs. Hopefully, y'all don't face them. I don't know who they had the last game. They got the Bengals now. Yeah, they got the Bengals. They're gonna blow the Bengals out of this fucking stratosphere,
I hope so. I really
and the
do
Bengals
hope
will
so.
finish last in the division. It'll be
Yeah,
sick.
yeah. Hopefully, I really do hope they finish last in the division. But let's predict these games, Devin. We got some games to predict all week 17. Starting off with Saturday night, we got Detroit versus Dallas.
Oy.
I think
Saturday night.
I think this is going to tell us a lot about both of these two teams or both of these teams.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it can make a lot of sense like last week, Miami and Dallas, where it could be a close game where both of them are getting the best of each other at certain points defensively. And it might not be some like 45 to 42 or 35. It might not be some crazy game, but I don't. Like I said, that Bills blowout versus Dallas to me was an anomaly, and
It really was.
I don't really see Detroit going out there and blowing out Dallas. That, like I say every week, if they don't turn the ball over, they have a very, very good chance of winning this game or of winning their game. But I will say, with the amount of times they do turn the ball over, and the push for the NFC East, and the fact that and Detroit already clinched the North, I'm going with Dallas.
I'm like, yeah. I. This is hard to say. I'm Dallas the entire way. Like,
Damn.
no, like quite honestly, Detroit has played zero this year. They played nobody. Their defense is one of the worst in the league.
We say that about Dallas. We say that about Dallas too.
No. Dallas can show bad defense, but Detroit is horrendous when it comes to defense. Like they got to put up 40 points to win a fucking football game. Yes, when their offense clicks, it clicks. But if Dallas's defense gets a couple of stops, like maybe a turnover or two, it's fucking the end of the story.
Score a game at least. If they
Huh?
turn the ball over twice,
Oh
Dallas
yeah,
is winning by 13
easily
points.
taking advantage of it. Dallas has had a good offense this year. Yeah, they've let up a few points, but they've faced tough opponents.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions haven't faced many people.
And when they did,
They got pissed
they,
on by the Ravens.
they got pissed on. So, all right, Dallas. All
Uh,
right. The next game, probably the biggest, most important game so far, at least for now. It's Baltimore, Miami.
at 1 o'clock, is this going to get flexed or no?
No. But no Jalen Waddle.
I'm glad
So
this is in Baltimore and not Miami because y'all would have the hot ass sideline
yeah,
and that would suck. But it's in Baltimore.
we're fine. Lamar knows how to
Lamar's
play in Florida.
Lamar's from Florida. He'll be
Um,
all right.
look, if we
Jalen Waddle's
look,
out.
we
Oh my
game
god!
we game plan, we
Lock
game
down
plan,
Tyreek Hill.
dude.
That's it. Did I
We
lose?
locked Tyreek Hill up. Not me, but that's the thing. If we can't, that's the thing. You lock up Tyreek, you focus your whole game plan on locking up Tyreek.
Now
You let
it's
there's
easier said than done.
easier
But
said than done. But if you find a way to do that, and you don't have to worry about letting their second best offensive weapon, Jalen Waddle, ball out.
now we forget. I think Atchain's back. They got Mostert. Two pretty good running backs. But the Ravens defense is pretty good against the run. I don't know if you guys are the best. But honestly, triple team Tyreek because I'm seeing a thing now that says the Dolphins should turn to Chase Claypool. I don't give a fuck if that ball touches him in the fucking chest and he's got 20 seconds to catch it. Who cares? He's not catching it. I don't give a fuck. He sucks. They'll light him up. he'll be out of the game.
If
Who
we
cares?
X out Tyreek Hill and
It's game over.
Chase Claypool is in their game plan, then the Ravens got it. Either way,
I see like a 31-14.
I'd like us to make a statement win, especially with our run game.
Exactly.
Because we need to make sure we got that under
And I
control.
think this is going to expose the fuck out of Miami's defense.
I would love for it to
because
expose
y'all last week faced what? Third best defense, second best defense
second best defense in the league
behind y'all.
Yeah,
Miami,
at least in points
maybe
allowed,
10th.
I guess. I mean, yeah.
So I think if y'all can bring the same intensity you guys did last week, the same fire, there's no fucking shot.
And you know who else didn't? You know who didn't bring that same intensity when they were predicting this game? Mike fucking Florio. So fuck him. And
Fuck
you know what he
Florios.
did? He picked the Ravens. So New England versus Buffalo.
Buffalo. New England. I think Denver tried to lose so that they could get fucking Dick Face off their payroll, whatever his name is. Wilson.
Sean Payton.
No, Wilson. Payton's staying.
We'll talk about Russ.
Sean Payton's staying. Russ is gone.
We'll talk about Russ, but Buffalo is going to have this easy ass schedule for the rest of the year, and they're going to get exposed in the playoffs. But I'm going Buffalo.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. If Buffalo loses, which would be cool, they might be nearing the end of their playoff run.
Here we go. See what I wrote down for this game? I could care less. Atlanta versus Chicago.
Okay.
Atlanta.
Do we have to pick? Can we just say no one cares?
Atlanta?
Then I'll go Chicago.
Are you sure?
Fuck it.
Okay, all right, fuck it.
Justin Fields is trying to fucking make sure he has a job next year. Desmond Ridder knows he's going to be bagging groceries.
Tennessee versus Houston. Is CJ playing? If CJ's playing, it's Houston.
If I was the Texans, I would shut him down.
No. Yeah. No. What is Houston's record right now?
I don't know.
What the fuck are you talking about? No, No. I think they sat him down.
Oh, they're 8-7.
Yeah. Fuck. No. We're not. No.
I thought they were 7-8.
If he's, I think last week was sitting him down.
CJ Stroud will start. Clears concussion.
Houston by a mile.
I think Houston by 2 or 3 miles. Who's starting for
Tannehill? Probably Tannehill. I was gonna say Tannehill versus Davis Mills. I'm gonna take Tannehill in Tennessee, but dude, no. CJ returning. CJ. Houston by a mile.
And this is D-Hop's return to.
Don't care.
Neither do I.
Don't care.
But apparently it was a thing.
Sure.
Someone said something.
D-Hop used to be a thing. Now it's just DeAndre.
Oh, fuck.
Now it's just DeAndre Hopkins. So
has he Marquise Brown himself?
He might have. He might have Marquise Brown himself. Marquise Brown himself.
which honestly could
that is
a bunch of ways.
That is
I could use that for anything.
Dude, I just Marquise Brown myself.
Dude, I just fucking Marquise Brown.
Holy shit, dude. We gotta.
I just made a big Hollywood in my pants, dude. Holy fuck.
Dude, lights, camera, action.
Title.
Title: Vegas versus Indianapolis. Two teams that we don't need in the playoffs, but one's probably gonna fucking make it in there.
No, the Raiders probably won't.
Who did the Colts just fucking lose to? Colts
just lost to some garbage poopies in the Falcons. Atlanta. They just got piss shitted on.
You know what, Devin? Give me Vegas.
Colts.
Give me Vegas.
Wait, let me look at the playoff standings just because.
Give me Vegas.
Someone might be trying to kick the Colts out of the playoffs for someone else's spot.
Roll the fucking dice.
Now,
we're gambling.
The Chiefs are 9-6. Bills are 9-6. I think they're still both in the playoff picture, no?
I don't know.
Well, the Bills are leading their. No, they're not leading their division. Who the fuck?
Miami.
Miami is.
Come on, what you looking for?
The Chiefs are leading their division, so they're shoe-in no matter what.
What are the Raiders' record? I don't even have my fucking
7-8.
Off. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, if things really
Trevor Lawrence is hurt. I think someone's gonna put the Steelers in the playoffs. Raiders.
Raiders?
I think the Colts lose this week. I think the Steelers win, and I think the Steelers go into the playoffs, into
So
the
you're going
playoff spot. Raiders, yeah.
so you're going Vegas. All right, Vegas.
Yeah.
Jacksonville versus Carolina.
Trevor Lawrence is not playing, but Jacksonville.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No.
Dude, Jacksonville. Look. People might hate how much credit I give to quarterbacks when it comes to success for a team. With Trevor Lawrence taken out of the Jacksonville equation, makes Jacksonville a dog shit football team.
I agree. Worse than the Panthers?
Carolina wins 13-10, dude. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
something
it will
just.
be a fucking thick shitter, but I
I
got
see
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville winning for sure, but no Trevor
I can
Lawrence.
see the Panthers winning. Honestly, I really can't.
No Trevor Lawrence. To me, Jacksonville is. I mean, they're. I mean, I don't know. They suck to me without Trevor Lawrence.
Bryce Young got fucking outplayed by a D3 undrafted fucking kid from Chicago.
Hey, it happens. Rams versus Giants. These games are starting to suck, Devin.
Yeah, we're starting to get down into, hey, some teams got to make it, some don't.
Rams Giants. I mean,
Rams.
Rams have to win this game. Is Tyrod Taylor the quarterback? I mean, who's playing? I hope. I mean, it'd be cool to see Tyrod win a game, but
Tyrod's in.
I'm gonna go Rams. Arizona versus Philly.
Now, let me double check that before I say that enthusiastically.
I mean, I'm still going Rams.
As am I.
So yeah, I mean, I don't really care who's the starting quarterback. Arizona versus Philly.
Philly.
Hopefully, Philly don't get caught lacking. At least, I mean,
Philly's not getting caught. If they do,
bro, I'm just saying.
very sad.
Look, I'm just saying. I'm just
Teams
saying.
have been caught. Teams can be caught.
Look, if you ask
And
me,
Marquise Brown, that sucks so much. But he's on IR.
you ask me who I think wants the NFC South more, Saints or Bucks.
Bucks.
I'm going to Tampa Bay Bucks. The Saints are a sinking ship. They have absolutely nothing going on. Reports already came out that the Bucks and Baker Mayfield both want to agree on terms for a contract extension after this year. They're locked in. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win the South. I got
I feel bad. I feel bad for Kyle Trask.
What if he gets to sit for and mature and blossom like you just said in the beginning of the pod, and he gets to have a great career when he's 28?
Maybe he does. That's a great
Maybe
point.
he does. I don't know. He's definitely not gonna have like Mike Evans to throw to, but
Which I think he could have developed a lot in his career had he thrown the ball to Mike and Chris. But it's all right.
All right, Devin. So look, let me give you the game plan here. So
I also can't see you again, but that's okay.
So you lock up Debo. You lock up Christian McCaffrey. You lock up Brandon Ayuk. Washington loses by like 20 points.
Dog, you're a piece of shit.
Right?
You know that?
You know what I mean? Like 20,
I think
17.
Dude, all right. I think if Fred Warner gets hurt.
Nope.
I think if Brock Purdy gets a call from his mom that dinner's ready and he needs to be home.
More likely than the first one.
If Christian McCaffrey needs to go to Paris with his model girlfriend, he can. I think Debo. If we lock him up and if we lock Brandon Ayuk up, I think we lose by 38, 39 maybe. I think dude. I'm telling you, we got a shot at winning.
Oh shit! All right.
By not that little.
So San Francisco?
Dude, they gotta worry about Scary Terry.
Can you still not see me?
No, I see you now.
Okay, cool. But I mean, San Francisco. It's
I
San
just have my
Francisco.
wandering eyes.
It's San Francisco. I'm sorry, Devin. I know. Hopefully one day we get to sit on this podcast and talk about how great the 10-3 Washington Commanders are. But it's San Fran.
How funny would it be if we won?
Dude, it'd be hilarious.
It'd be
I
awesome.
would, and I'd be happy for
And
you.
we would call this the revenge game against the worst defensive end in all of football of all time. To be hyped up.
Oh, so you won like for against Chase Young.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Chase
Okay, I
Young
get. I mean, hey,
Chase Young absolutely sucks complete balls and butt.
whatever lights your fire, I guess. Yeah.
I'm
Pittsburgh,
not the
Seattle.
Doors.
Pittsburgh, Seattle. Not gonna
That's a
lie,
tough. That's a toughie, dude.
I think Pittsburgh just wants it a little bit more.
Where's Seattle in all this mix? 8-7.
Dude,
Fuck.
Seattle just.
Seattle, but here's the thing:
Here we go.
Pittsburgh can't lose this game. Seattle can lose this game, win next week, and make the playoffs.
Seattle, I don't know, bro. The way Seattle played last week versus Tennessee, I mean, they won, but
And the way
struggled.
Mason Rudolph played,
Yeah, bro, and the way that defense is playing, bro. Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. I mean, it's Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh.
I'm not enthusiastic about this
I'm
because I
pretty.
still fuck with Seattle's team and their fucking way of making the playoffs. And I think if they make the playoffs, it's another fuck you right in the face of Russell Wilson, and I like that. But yeah, Steelers, whatever.
All right, Pittsburgh. Cincinnati versus Kansas City.
Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City.
Look, if if Kansas City even comes close, and I mean a touchdown, if they even come close to losing this fucking game, I do not want to hear anything. I think I said this about Dallas last episode or whatever. I don't want to hear another thing. I might have said this about the Chiefs. I don't want to hear another thing until them boys are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, agree.
Until them boys make a full run in the playoffs, go 3-0, make the Super Bowl. I do not want to hear anything. They better slaughter the Bengals. It better be absolutely no question, without a doubt, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Chargers,
And
Denver.
if it's not, then there's a problem. But
So a game that doesn't matter, Chargers versus Denver. I guess, I mean, I'll make the pick. I'll say Chargers, but I really want to talk about Russ getting benched.
yeah, Chargers. The Denver. I mean, Jarrett Stidham. I don't
So
know.
Russ getting benched, in your honest opinion, without a stick, without a joke, like actual business mind,
Yeah.
why do you think he's benched?
Um, I don't think it's performance because there's a lot of worse players playing worse than him right now. I think Sean Payton and I think maybe the head office in Denver says we need a coach to take over this team and run the team his way. And I think that's what Sean wants to do is run the team his way. That's what he did in New Orleans. Russell Wilson is a thorn in that objective. So I think the easiest option is to just bench him and cut him at the end of the year. I mean,
And
he'll find another
is
job.
that 100% what it is? Like, there's no chance he's a Bronco next year,
Zero.
even though he said he wanted to be a Bronco.
Zero. Dude, he fucking
Zero.
says a lot of shit.
Okay,
Zero.
I mean, I'm just
Zero
making sure.
percent.
I mean, the situation Denver's in, you could see them just being like, "Fuck it," like the season's over.
Yeah, I mean this like
So why risk our starting quarterback getting hurt when we could have him next year? I'm
if it
saying
was
that,
a less polarizing character than Russell and Sean Payton, then yes, I would think, hey, yeah, we're just trying to end the season, come back next year with an earlier pick and be all right.
but is it fair to assume that it's 100% like, no, we're done with you because of who the characters are?
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, Sean Payton's the same person that has faith in like Taysom Hill. So are we? You're
Yeah,
sitting
because
here
Taysom
telling
Hill
me
listens and does his job.
you're sitting
Russell is
here.
not that dude.
Oh, you're telling me he doesn't. Come on, bro. Russell Wilson probably yes, sir. He's probably yes, sir. Okay.
He might be, but he's also like when he got to Denver, like I don't know, no one there
You want Sean Payton as your coach or Drew
liked him or
Brees?
rallied around him.
You
I
want
think is Elway still involved there?
yeah.
I think if Elway's involved, there's no fucking way.
You
I
want
think he wants a hard nosed quarterback, not a hard nosed quarterback. He wants a hard brained, good coach for the future rather than a dwindling quarterback. And
bro.
I think it'll come down between them. If they keep Russ, Sean Payton's not staying, and vice versa.
You want Russ as your quarterback or Sean Payton as your coach?
Right now, Sean Payton.
Nah.
Russ, like for the
You want
future,
Sean you want Sean Payton as your coach or Drew Brees as your quarterback?
right now or
No,
back then,
yeah, back then. Because that's what John
Drew Brees.
That's what Sean Payton's resume is his career was with Drew Brees. That's the
No,
only part of his career you want to highlight. So
no, I understand,
I'm
but
saying, do you want Russ or do you want Sean? Because I
see, but
personally
the only highlightable part of Russ's career is with Pete Carroll. And then Gino went and did well with Pete Carroll. And it's like, all right, well,
yeah, but
now we have to have the conversation about.
Gino's been dwindling ever since I made that take. I'm not gonna lie. I made
And
that
no, and that's
system
fair, but
quarterback
at least
take,
he
and
had that season, and the Seahawks are still better than the Broncos.
so where's Russ going? Because
Maybe,
I got a long text from Shane earlier.
what, that he wants Russell Wilson or he doesn't like Russell Wilson?
Oh no, he 100% wants Russ to be his quarterback next year.
All right.
So for anybody that doesn't know, Shane is a Falcons fan.
Yeah.
Um, which I'm not gonna lie, bro. With what that team has right now and all the shit we just talked about with quarterbacks and what teams are chasing, if you have a roster that is somewhat ready to make some type of run, go with the vet.
What about Washington? We'll have a new coach. We'll have a new coaching staff. Del Rio's probably going to get fired. Um,
Do you want him? I wasn't even gonna.
no, I don't. I don't want him. I'm just saying it's like
You don't want him over Sam Howell?
Sam Howell's done.
You don't want him over Jacoby Brissett?
I do.
So then you guys are on the table.
And it's not because I think he will do the best, but I think he will give, at least in the offseason, the team a little bit of hope. And maybe we can get some other names. But it'll be a new coaching staff, a new quarterback, Brissett. I don't know. Maybe he'll have a Geno resurgence or whatever, but
If we're
he's
just
a great backup.
if we're just
He's
looking
a
at
great
the
backup.
if we're looking at the case of like what team needs a quarterback more urgently, I guess Washington, but like because Atlanta hasn't fully given up on Desmond Ritter, and I don't think they are.
Which they should, but
They should. So I mean, hey, I Russ to any team I think is going to be interesting. Green Bay, Minnesota, last game of the week.
Green Bay. Without question.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think, what's Green Bay's record?
Playoff bound,
Bound?
wild card bound.
Really?
Like they have a shot. They have a shot.
They're 7-8, so
They have a
I
shot.
think this could. Well, so are the Vikings,
But I
which
mean,
kind of shocks me.
that's what I'm saying though. Like they have a shot. Like they have a shot.
How bad of that is a look for the Packers that the Vikings haven't had a quarterback for half the season, have barely had their star receiver, don't have a running back, and are still
You want to ruin Russell
just as
Wilson's
bad.
career? Send him to Green Bay.
Send him to Green Bay. Shit, that would suck. That'd
It
be
would,
horrible.
and it would
Well, shit,
suck
they
for
sent him to Denver. It's about to ruin his fucking career.
yeah. But yeah, no, I'm going 100% Green Bay. Lock me in. Predictions done.
The Vikings, I think, can win this game, and I think if the Seahawks lose, you gotta you got a big race for that last wild card spot at 8-8, getting to 9-8. Whoever's 9-8 is making the playoffs.
So two more topics before some NBA. First thing, real quick, you mentioned one of these episodes. You mentioned at the end after the episode, you were like, "Hey, Al Michaels isn't doing playoff games."
Yeah.
Is there a chance that Al Michaels isn't doing playoff games because Amazon Prime isn't having any playoff games, and that's games he commentates?
No. He works for the NFL.
But what? So what all games does Al Michaels commentate for?
Well,
Because,
he's been in the playoffs every year, and they did
but I'm saying
Amazon
like
last year. No,
Amazon. This was the first year.
Amazon.
This
No,
was
this is the
the
second year.
no. This was the first year you could only watch Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime.
No. They did it last year.
Nah, you're gonna have to fact check that. 100% fact check
No,
me on
It
that.
was Amazon Prime last year.
Fact check me on that. I don't
It was
believe you.
Thursday night Amazon Prime.
I 100% don't believe you because from what it
Because
seems
the
like,
games last year were horrendous.
but
Maybe it wasn't all of them, but the
but what I'm
majority of them.
saying is, does he do more than Thursday Night Football?
This year I'm not sure, but he does the playoffs.
But what I'm saying is, what games does he do this year? Because including 20, he's the only commentator. Okay, so see, I'm trying to find what games he commentates this year, but they're showing me everything he's done like all time, and that's obviously not something I really care about. But I don't know. What I'm
Was
saying is,
80 years old.
what I'm
Holy
saying
fuck.
is, I don't know how that Prime shit works, and I don't know if they would turn into something where he just isn't doing the playoffs. Just like he, just, I don't know, and maybe that's part of the reason he's fucking 80 years old. But also, if you're
Yeah.
80 years old, why are you spending a year commentating on shitty games and you won't do the Super Bowl? You know, so it's like I don't know, Devin. Maybe you got a point, but I was just thinking when I was watching Prime, when I was watching Thursday Night Football game, and I saw Al Michaels, I was like, huh, maybe that's why he's not. Maybe because Amazon Prime isn't going to have any playoff games,
Yeah.
and he won't. And if he only did Thursday, if he only did Amazon, like if he strictly did Amazon in 2023,
Yeah.
that could be why he's not doing any playoff.
But also, it was like, I think he was shocked when he was like, "Hey, I'm not getting put on any of these playoff games." I don't know. I mean, he's 80. He talks nonsense all the time.
Yeah, but so does Collinsworth.
Collinsworth is not going to be in the playoffs.
But I'm just saying, like, but he's on Sunday Night Football every fucking week. He's primed. He's the
Then he
prime
might be in
time
the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you talking about? I don't know. Yeah, there's definitely games that are gonna be on. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Look,
No,
look,
but
I'm not gonna act like I'm commentator savvy and act like I know who all is commentating in the playoffs. But I mean, he works.
I know Tony Romo sucks.
No,
That's always fun.
Tony Romo's a great commentator. Let's be real. Give me.
Now, no, dude. Everyone just keeps talking shit about Tony because he sucks. He's always drunk.
Tony Romo does not suck. Look, fuck that. I want to talk about something a little more.
Chris Collinsworth is always drunk though. That's
something a little more important. And another thing you said to me after the podcast, you sent this to me over text. It was a link to Aaron Rodgers talking about the MVP race. Now you seemed very upset, and I'm gonna let you. I want you to fully explain it to me, but you seemed really upset with the way Aaron Rodgers was depicting how the NFL MVP race should be viewed this year.
Yes.
And I was going into it like, what did this motherfucker say about Lamar? What did he do? And I couldn't. I don't know what he.
Well,
What
it's
he.
what
What,
he
what
did
was it?
say about Lamar. They had the graphic up of Lamar being the front runner for the MVP, and he was talking about how Josh Allen should be up at the top there because he's accounted for 40 touchdowns or whatever. And then he was talking about how guys like Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill, for the great seasons that they're having, should be put and maybe win an MVP.
But do you
And
know
he's
what?
like, there's a lot of guys who have great seasons and don't win MVP.
Did you notice what Aaron Rodgers did that whole time though?
What's that?
He was just stat watching.
What do you mean?
Tyreek's got the league by 400 yards, and Christian
By
McCaffrey's
by
done this,
200
and
yards.
Josh Allen's accounted for this many touchdowns. He's just stat watching, but everybody is saying go watch a Ravens game and watch Lamar Jackson play. That is the MVP of the league.
But if we
It's
stat
not
watched in
don't go on.
2020 and 2021, Aaron's not winning because Derrick Henry ran for 2,000 in 2020, and in 2021, Cooper Kupp almost broke the record.
And it's crazy how we just spent last episode talking
And
about
Brady had 5,000 fucking yards.
at 43 years old. We just did an episode where like 3 different years someone else should have won MVP over Aaron Rodgers. So
Exactly.
look, I don't want to shit on Aaron, but he definitely just didn't really know. I hate to say didn't know what he was talking about, but when it comes to being
crazy recency bullshit.
This is proof that just because you're an athlete doesn't mean you're a great analyst.
And I've been hearing that a lot more, that like with the Mike Florio bullshit, that like the Cam's talking about, oh, you never put the pads on, you never did this, you never did that. It's like, Cam, you say the dumbest shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're an athlete, what, you got a fucking free pass? I know Mike Florio's a fucking idiot, and he's got some fucking thing about Lamar Jackson, but shut the fuck up, because you're like, you got no idea what you're talking about.
And it's like, you think I like Pat McAfee because he knows what he's talking about or because he's right? No, it's because they're funny. It's entertaining. Pat McAfee isn't sitting there going,
I'm an NFL player. I played in the NFL. These guys.
I'm the best. Like, I couldn't even think of a shtick because it's like that's basically how it feels when Cam's talking. He's like, well, I'm the shit. So these guys suck. Look at my hat.
Pat's sitting in a room with a bunch of dudes who have never played.
Like, you know how much shit AJ Hawk could talk? You know how much shit AJ Hawk could be like, y'all motherfuckers don't know shit. Like, and he lets all those random guys that are just friends with Pat McAfee talk their shit because you don't have to spend 10 years in the NFL to know what you're talking about. Or to analyze a game and then talk about it. It ain't that hard. But look.
And yes, I get that Mike Florio's wrong. Here's the thing. If this was him talking shit against someone, like, there's all, if when we pick who's going to win a game, anyone could say, hey, we feel disrespected by that take.
And if you think,
and it's like, yeah, sure.
If you think analysts aren't purposely making hot takes that they know could easily be wrong, or they aren't doing that on purpose, if you think that, you're stupid. Because
that's the game for a lot of these guys. And I'm not a big fan. Like, I just say what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get a little rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
And usually that's NFC East teams where I call them a bunch of dumb pussies. But, no, yeah, like, if like, say someone, not Mike Florio, goes and supports the Ravens next week and they're bashing on the Dolphins and the Ravens lose. Now what? You're going to support that reporter?
It's the thing. It's like, I don't know. It's like, look, I don't know.
One team's going to get bashed on no matter what.
Like I said about Pat McAfee, Stephen A. Smith is entertaining. Skip Bayless is entertaining.
It's entertaining.
Like, people are like, why are we paying these guys when they don't even know what they're talking about? It's because they're not paid because they're not paid because they know what they're talking about. They pay because they are entertaining. It's what it is.
But then they also have people who play in the NFL. Now, Dan Orlovsky does not deserve any sort of job. You know what I found out?
What?
2019. He was calling and saying that, yes, Lamar's having a great year, but I'm taking Sam Darnold over Lamar Jackson over the next couple of years no matter what. How's that fucking turned out for you, fucking Big Dan? How's that?
People were taking a lot of guys over Lamar in 2019.
I know.
A lot
and one of them's Dan, and then he'll come out and support Lamar and say that, oh, he's fucking the best. Fuck you. Dan Orlovsky's a little bitch.
I got 10 alleged contenders for the NBA MVP this year. I want to tell you why I think they could and why I think they could not win. And, obviously you tell me how the fuck you feel about it. First, we got Jokic, which obviously, as of the last few years, he is an MVP candidate every year.
Every year.
He will be considered no matter what.
Yep.
And the thing is, I look at it, and let me just start by saying that the MVP for the NBA is even more narrative based than the NFL, and a lot of this is going to have nothing to do with on the court stuff, and that's because the NBA MVP has a lot to do with just narrative and politics. Anyways,
For
so
sure.
with that being
Did you know
said,
that Basketball Reference has a MVP award tracker that gives probabilities during the season?
yeah, yeah.
Never seen that. It's pretty sick. I'm
Yeah,
watching it right now. I'm looking at
they
it right
got a tracker. They got all that type of shit. With all that being said, I think Jokic will be. I think Jokic could win and could not win because of the same reason, and that's I think he could easily be heavily considered because of his snub last season that a lot of people consider a snub. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who don't think he deserved that one, and that's why they voted for Joel because it's voters fatigue. And they're gonna look back at the 2 years before that and be like, no, like I'm standing on this. Like he's not the most valuable player. And I think the NBA is starting to change the whole. I don't know, bro. It's like to me, I think there's a difference in like when we talk about like, oh, look at what Joel can do at his size. To me, it's a lot more impressed. Because also people also say like, look at what Kevin Durant can do at his size.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's like no, what Kevin Durant can do at his size is
Otherworldly.
out of this world. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Joel Embiid, no, it's like you're big and you're athletic and it's great, but it's like no, even like to me, like
People have done that.
yeah, and it's like Jokic, okay, you can give him the playmaking stuff, but it's like, yeah, but you also got big guys that could pass the ball before Jokic, so we're not going to sit here and pretend
And
like these guys are anomalies.
I don't know. I'm just upset that, like, on this probability thing, it says Joel is at 43%, which is probably the next guy you're going to talk about. Jokic is at 31.
Mhm.
At 3%, averaging 33.7, 9 assists, 8.4 rebounds. At 3% is Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk
Joel's averaging
about
35, 11, and 6.
Luca. Luca's putting up those numbers. He's able to put up those numbers with Kyrie on that team, and the whole narrative about Kyrie going on that team was, oh, this guy who's gonna be, he's gonna take the ball out of Luca's hands. He's not gonna be able to. But you got to
9
also look at
fucking
this,
assists?
Devin. You got to also think about this.
If the NBA wants the NBA to progress, Luka should be the MVP frontrunner right now. I don't care that they're 18 and 14.
You can't vote Luca this year because it turns into why didn't you vote Luca last year? Why didn't you vote Luca this?
But there has to be 1 year when they fucking start voting in this
He's
motherfucker.
putting up the same numbers, Devin. It's impressive, but it's also, according to NBA voters, not MVP worthy.
What fucker thinks that a center is, sure, they might be the most valuable player on their team, but in no case are they the most valuable fucking player in the league.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll
maybe
give you
fucking
that.
last year
I'll
when
give you
fucking
that.
the Nuggets won, but also never are they the most popular player or should be the most popular player.
Okay, but then look at someone like SGA. He's averaging 31, 6.5, and 6, 20 and 9 with OKC. Simple
Which,
as that. But look, Luca's putting up better numbers than that. So
but
if you don't vote Luca, you can't vote SGA.
but Shea's got a higher percentage than Luka right now.
Well, and he should.
And Tatum's a bigger part of his team than most of these fuckers.
That's the problem. You're pinning, you're hitting him. You're hitting all the bullet points. Jason Tatum. He finishes if he can finish as if he can finish as first seed in the East, as the clear number one guy in Boston. And what I mean by that is not me and you going, obviously, I'm saying there is no more, because up to this year, there is still conversations that are, is it Jaylen Brown or Tatum? Like who's the
It's Tatum's fucking team. We've known that for the whole
Okay,
fucking
but
time. I know he talked my shit and said that Jaylen Brown's a beast. I know, but that's my hate.
you know people have those conversations.
I know.
You know people have those conversations. So what I'm saying is if he can end those conversations for good, dead those conversations, number one in the East, that's like my dark horse MVP. 100% should be the MVP. Putting up the numbers he's putting up, he's the best player out of that big three and is the guy
But the
for
way the
Boston.
ranking should be right now should be Tatum or Luka number one. Maybe you can throw in fucking Giannis in there. And I think Joel and Jokic should be 4 and 5. Yes, they're fucking great. I get it. But if you want to progress the NBA, go for your fucking stars. Jason Tatum is a star.
See,
Giannis is a star. Luka is a fucking star. Shai can be a star.
but I don't know if the people who are voting cares about that.
Well, Adam Silver needs to get in front of this and say that these dudes are the stars. Because Joel Embiid, no one gives a flying fuck about. Most of the NBA hates the motherfucker. Most NBA fans hate the motherfucker.
But okay, like Giannis though.
At least we have respect for Jokic's game.
Giannis is still putting up great numbers with Dame next to him. But then you
Who's
look
also
at
putting up great numbers.
You look at Dame, and that's the thing. You look at Dame. So if you when you start to talk about anything other than personal success for Giannis, you have to give some of that credit to Dame as well, which takes away chances for Giannis to win the MVP. Same thing with Luka. Same thing with Luka and Kyrie. Same thing with Braun on Cleveland never winning an MVP when Kyrie was playing with them. It's there's levels to this shit.
No, I understand, but why are we giving the MVP to, like, when Steph was by himself, he's averaging a shit ton of points. LeBron James should have won a bunch of MVPs, which he did not. But why are we giving why are we giving flowers to people who don't have help? Why not give flowers to people who have help, who are still putting up great numbers and utilizing their help?
So can LeBron win MVP?
I think he should be in the conversation. I think he should be in the conversation every fucking year. But year after year, he's not even close.
I mean, the Lakers. The thing is, the Lakers are probably going to finish. They're not going to finish with a great record because I just want to say,
DeMontis Sabonis is in here at number 10. Tyrese fucking Maxey's at number 8 above Dame.
Can I just say fuck everybody who was talking shit about the Clips because they got a fucking better record than the Lakers right now, and I haven't heard any negative thing said about the Lakers this year. All praise, even me. But now all of a sudden the Clippers got a better record than the Lakers. It's all hush on Clippers hate.
Yep.
Not much Lakers praise right now, but definitely no Lakers hate going on. I don't know what that's about.
It's also all hush on Clippers praise.
I mean, except for me.
For the most part.
I shouted them out last Friday. I let y'all know what was going on. But
among the masses.
Yeah, I'll give it. Yeah. All right.
Honestly, it should not be a race between Embiid and Jokic. Right? In no fucking case.
LeBron 25, 7, and 8 at 39 years old.
Putting up better numbers putting up the same points as Dame and better rebound and assist numbers. And he's not even fucking close. And he does not have Giannis on his team.
But then you got other guys you gotta consider. You got someone that I don't think will win, but Devin Booker.
What's he throwing up?
So right now, he's not even he's averaging less than KD. I'll tell you that. When it comes to scoring. Now here's the thing. I think we've cracked the code. It's like if you put up good numbers with a superstar, you're not winning MVP because it kind of takes that away.
But why is Tyrese Maxey on this fucking board?
Why is why is Halliburton on the board?
Well, I agree. I mean, I think Halliburton's better than Maxey.
He's putting up great numbers. He's putting up great numbers, but at the end of the day, what are the Pacers going to be? Best case scenario, 6, 7 seed.
Sure.
So I mean,
at the same time, it's like, what pieces does Tyrese Halliburton have? He's putting up 12 assists. We don't see that much in the league anymore. He's putting up 24 points and 4 rebounds. Like, that's big from a point guard. That's a true point guard. That's a true point guard who's balling out. Like, that's back in the day. That's better than fucking Steve Nash's numbers.
But everything
he won 2 straight MVPs.
Everything I read about the MVP mentions Booker. But to me, KD's 1A. If Booker's 1, it's 1A. It's 1 and 1A. I mean, it's not. You can't.
Yeah,
You gotta have a. To me, there has to be. Look, I know I said that it's wrong to not give someone an MVP because of the who they're surrounded by, but I still think that you should whoever the MVP is should be the clear. There should be a clear
separated. There
cut
should be a clear one.
separation. And that's the thing. KD and Booker, I don't think you can do that.
But Luka's a clear one.
Yeah.
I think Luka's my MVP currently.
Tatum's mine.
That's fine, and I
Tatum's
can
mine.
agree with that.
And I'll say
But
the
Luka numbers
they're great.
to have a point guard on your team like Kyrie,
Mhm.
and you're still putting up 9 assists and
Mhm.
33, like that's wild numbers. I know the record's not great. I don't care.
It's not. But and then the last thing, or the last person I see being talked about a little bit, given a little bit of hope, who I don't think just yet. I do think in a few years he will have a lot of seasons worth arguing for MVPs. Like I think he could win like the favorite player award this year. But Anthony Edwards, like
Another
I
guy
said,
who should be on the list.
like I said, okay, he showed up in Minnesota and has absolutely balled ever since. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing with Cat, it's like, are you the clear
Yes, Cat's
cut?
balling.
Are you the clear cut guy on that squad? Are you the
I
reason?
think Ant is the clear cut guy. It might not be by a mile.
But I think
They weren't doing shit with Cat. They weren't doing dick with Cat.
With that being said about Ant, though, I do think in 3 years from now, I think Ant is easily in MVP conversations.
I hope so.
Like every year moving forward after that.
I hope so.
Um,
And I thought I honestly thought that after last season, after the bullshit with that MVP award, that it was just between Jokic and Embiid that this would be done.
what do you mean? You thought the what do you mean? What do you think was going to be
That
done?
this whole center bullshit. Jokic won 2 straight. Embiid won the next. Embiid clearly, yes, he was putting up great numbers, but they weren't the team. He's not a great playoff anything.
But I mean, do you think? Well, first of all, MVP's a regular season award.
It's a regular season award. I understand, but
so you think the last 3 years they've been praising bigs, and they're just going to stop all of a sudden?
Yeah, because it hasn't done well for the NBA's numbers. The NBA's numbers fucking suck.
But do you think the NBA is looking at their numbers in any negative way and going, it has to be our MVP award?
No, it's the stars. It's the guys you put up atop the top.
But I think
if you
I think on
know
a positive
star, I
note,
know
though,
Tatum's a star, but they need recognition.
I think
otherwise they'll be forgotten.
On a positive note, though, I think that a lot of people have come to agree that we don't need the person we don't need people we consider superstars or stars of the league to be the person that holds an MVP trophy.
I understand, but the MVP should mean something. It used to mean something in the NBA. It used to mean that, hey, that's the best player in the league right now.
I feel you.
Now it's this bullshit award where it's like, hey, this dude's good on a bad team. This dude's pulling a team.
Okay.
It was hard to win an MVP back then. You had to be good.
10 contenders this year. So let's do the bracket. We got a bracket today. Now it's funny. You made a comment about how there were only 7 or 8 2,000-yard rushing years. You were like, because we were talking about like how a lot of people were close to 5,000 passing, but they don't get credit for it because they didn't hit 5K. And you were like, but there's only like 7 or 8, but there's a lot of people that came close. Devin, there's exactly 8.
Yeah, there's 8. Yeah.
And I already had this bracket made when you made that comment.
Really?
But there are 8.
There are exactly 8 of them. Yeah.
And we do have all 8. Whenever I can get them.
Well, we know who's winning this one.
I can you see this?
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't see it.
The guy who's gonna win this won the biggest trial of the century.
So yeah, there we go. I can see it on the big screen now. So Devin, we have 8 running backs who broke the I guess best accolade you could for a running, or hit the best milestone for a running back you could, and
I mean,
that's
this is one of the most, elite from a numbers standpoint groups to be in.
and there's only 8, and we're
It's
going
this
to
and like
decide.
this 5,000 passing yards, but also 50 touchdowns is what that's been done by Peyton and Tom
Peyton, Tom,
Mahomes.
Mahomes, and I feel like there not one more in there.
Peyton threw for 50
Peyton,
and then
Tom, did
55.
has Drew never been close, or
I think Drew had 47. I know he had 5,400 yards.
I don't know. We can talk about that in another bracket, but we have 8 2,000-yard seasons, which are the only 8, and we're gonna decide which one was the best. I got a lot of stats here. I got a lot of factors. Maybe some other factors that we want to look up in the process. But Devin,
Yeah, Peyton,
starting
Brady, Mahomes.
starting with 2012 and 1984, you have Adrian Peterson and Eric Dickerson.
Yes.
So Eric Dickerson in 1984 ran for 2,105 yards and 14 touchdowns. He had
Second of all time.
he had first, number one.
No, he is first. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. 2,105 yards. I just want to make sure. 390 attempts, 4.6 yards per carry. He played in all 16 games. All of these guys, the year they did this, were first team All Pro and Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
just want to get that out of the way. This was his second season in the league. He also had 139 receiving yards. It wasn't much of a receiving threat while rushing for 2,000 yards. Now his offense did only pass for 2,382 yards that year, and they did make the playoffs, but they did lose in the wild card round. So you could say Dickerson was a big percentage of their offense.
This is the LA Rams?
Yes.
The first LA Rams?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. You could say he was a big factor in their offense, obviously, and all these guys are big factors in offense, but I think we'll notice that some are a little more impactful than others and whatnot. And let's talk about Adrian Peterson, because in 2012, he was recovering from an ACL tear.
Yes.
And he got on the field and ran for 2,097 yards, 348 attempts, 6 yards per carry. That's to Eric Dickerson's 4.6 yards per carry.
And 9 yards short.
9 yards short. A year after tearing his ACL, he has Christian Ponder as his quarterback. He did have an O-line ranking of number 9, so he did have a top 10
Which
O-line.
is
217 receiving yards, so not, like I said, not much going on in receiving games.
There's a lot of guys who have had top O-lines and not run for 6 yards per carry.
Made the playoffs, lost in the wild card. Look, I think this one's simple. You got one guy who's super fresh and is in his prime as a running back, and one guy who tore his fucking ACL. It's Adrian Peterson in 2012.
And I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen many Eric Dickerson highlights, but I've seen those AP highlights. And boy, was that dude unfucking stoppable.
We got 1998 Terrell Davis versus 2020 Derrick Henry.
Oof.
Let's talk about Derrick Henry first. He ran for 2,027 yards and 17 touchdowns. He had 378 attempts, making that 5.4 yards per carry in all 16 games, 114 receiving yards. See, these guys did not like to catch the ball and run with it, which is kind of funny, but lost in the wild card round. And this was, I checked, if you want to fact check me or believe me, statistically, Ryan Tannehill's best year.
Yes.
It was his best year.
This is when they had A.J. Brown.
I mean, 4,000 yards passing, like 30-something. Like, he had a great year.
This is when they beat the Ravens in the playoffs.
Yeah, this wasn't...
This is when A.J. Brown went dummy in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, also when Derrick Henry went dummy in the playoffs on Earl Thomas. 1998 Terrell Davis, though. He ran for 2,008 yards and 21 touchdowns, 392 attempts, so 5.1 yards per carry. He played in all 16 games, 217 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. This was Elway's crippling last year.
Yep.
They did win the Super Bowl. They had Rod Smith with 1,222 yards Ed McCaffrey with 1,000 receiving yards, and Shannon Sharp with 768 receiving yards. So
Ed McCaffrey.
this
What a
offense,
guy.
this offense had a lot going on, and Terrell Davis was still able to get 2,000 rushing yards and in the end zone 21 times.
And win MVP.
It's Terrell Davis.
Did he win MVP this year?
I don't remember, but it's Terrell Davis. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Devin.
He won Super Bowl MVP.
It's Terrell Davis.
It is.
It's Terrell Davis. Look, I know I just said Ryan Tannehill had a great year and A.J. Brown, yada, yada. But
yeah, TD.
The Titans were going to make the playoffs and lose with that year from Derrick Henry. The Titans were going to just miss the playoffs without Derrick Henry that year. The Broncos would not have won the Super Bowl with it if it was not for Terrell Davis that year.
Dude, that's got to be one of the greatest seasons of all time, and that was one of his last good seasons. 2,000 yards, NFL MVP, maybe I don't know, Super Bowl MVP. It's nuts. It's unheard of.
2009, literally the reason he's called this. CJ2K, Chris Johnson going up against 1997.
See, this is the way these new guys need to get their nicknames.
Yeah, you need to perform
You
really
need to
well.
do something.
Yeah.
You can't come into the league with a nickname.
You don't come into the league.
Saucy.
You don't come into the league as Danny Dimes.
No.
You throw dimes, and then you're called Danny Dimes. See
you don't come in the league as Hollywood.
See, CJ ran for 2K, so we started calling him CJ 2K.
2K.
So shout out to CJ 2K, but CJ 2K 2009, 1997 Barry Sanders. 97 Barry Sanders, he ran for 2,053 yards, 11 touchdowns. He had 335 attempts, making that 6.1 yards per carry. Played in all 16 games, 305 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. So the best receiving stats so far.
How many? 300?
305 yards and 3 touchdowns. They lost in the wild card round, and their quarterback was Scott Mitchell, which, just being Aaron Rodgers and stat watching, C-tier stats.
Sure.
So, not the worst, definitely not nowhere near the best.
I mean, we can't put stat watching on Aaron. Everybody stat watches. We know.
Yeah, I mean, it's what this bracket is. I would say it's like 40% of this bracket. We factor in a lot of weird shit.
70 maybe. 80.
I don't know. I think it honestly depends.
I mean, we're not watching.
Let's be real. It depends on the matchup. Because we're reading stats and then we're going like, yeah, but like Adrian Peterson is like, bruh, you want to stat watch all you want. One guy was fresh. One guy tore his fucking ACL. To me, that played a lot more in the 9-yard difference they had.
Stats are very important, but they're not end-all, be-all to conversations.
But no, and I mean, stats are the reason for these brackets. It's the best. It's the 8 best 2,000-yard rushers. If you didn't rush for 2,000 yards, you're not on this list.
But that's the reason why this bracket's interesting.
Yes.
Not all these guys are going to win.
2009 CJ. He ran for 2,006 yards and 14 touchdowns. He had 358 attempts, making that 5.6 yards per carry. 16 games. This was his second year in the league. 503 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. So he also put up 500 receiving yards.
How many total touchdowns? 12?
16. He had 14 rushing, 2 receiving.
Gotcha.
They went 8-8, no playoffs, and Vince had a terrible year as their quarterback.
Who?
Vince Young.
In 09, Vince Young was still in the league?
Yeah, and he had a terrible year. It was mostly Vince Young. I believe he definitely didn't play the whole season, but
Barry's pretty tough.
Look, Barry is like, that was loud. Barry is
6.1 yards.
Barry
How many
is
receiving yards did 300?
He had 300 receiving yards. Chris Johnson had 2,000 yards, 500 receiving yards on top of that. 14 rushing touchdowns, and 2 receiving touchdowns. I know it hasn't factored in much, but I haven't also. I mean, I know I wrote this down, but I kind of forgot. Like, no, I mean, bro had over 2,500 total
Total
yards
yards.
with a 2,000-yard rushing season. Now, it also was his second year, and this was what Barry's
Almost his last.
second to last.
Yeah.
Now he also only played like 9 years, so we're not gonna sit here and pretend like he was
Frank
38.
Gore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my vote's for CJ. If you want to go Barry, we can pull out the good old coin flip if we have to.
No, I think with the total production, yes, his team wasn't good, but neither was fucking Barry's. So,
Yeah.
he was their whole team. CJ was, and that's fucking
CJ moving on.
absolutely absurd.
And look, if you hate us because we talk about him a lot, fuck off. 1973 OJ Simpson, 2003 Jamal Lewis.
Because we talk about OJ a lot.
Yeah.
The world loves OJ. Get out of here.
2003 Jamal Lewis, he ran for 2,066 yards, 14 touchdowns, 387 attempts, 6 yards per carry. Excuse me. 387 attempts, 5.3 yards per carry.
Okay.
16 games. He was the offense, kind of like what's his name? Kind of like Dickerson and a lot of these guys. Their offense, the Ravens, was able to throw for 2,517 yards that year, but they were able to make the playoffs and lose in the wild card
Who was the
round.
QB?
2003? I think it was a
Testaverde?
mush. I think it was a mush of a few. No, not Testaverde. It was fucking Christ.
Testaverde was like 90s.
2003? Ugh. That had to be like a mix of, I don't know. That's probably a mix of fucking. Oh, don't tell me like Kyle Bowler or fucking like like I don't know. Actually. I don't know. Who was it?
Kyle Bowler was the rookie quarterback.
Let's fucking go.
Drafted that
Let's
year.
go. Didn't write it down.
Next.
Y'all can check my fucking papers. Let's go. I
Next,
like that.
Chris Redmond and Anthony Wright. So it's probably just mainly Kyle Bowler rookie year.
So now I don't have to get rid of that tattoo. I can say I'm a true Ravens fan for remembering.
Exactly, but still a shit ton of Pro Bowlers like you guys do every year, mainly defense.
Now let's not forget, out of all these teams, this running back probably got to play with the like probably had the best defense.
Oh, by far.
You know, like if you're a running back and you got a really good defense, you're probably going to get a lot of opportunities to run the ball. And now, mind you, he did only average 5.3, which is less than some on here.
Yeah, more than others.
What were you going to say?
I mean, in 2000, this isn't the same year, but 2000, he was the biggest part of you guys' offense.
Yeah.
You guys had a crazy defense that was
100%.
Easily, in my opinion, the best ever. But
if Jamal Lewis's 2,000-yard year was 2000, it would be the best year ever. Yeah.
But I mean, he ran for a lot that year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many, but whatever.
1973, OJ Simpson, the first player to rush for 2,000 yards. Devin, he ran for 2,003 yards, 12 touchdowns. He averaged 6 yards per carry, 332. I know. 332 attempts. Only 70 receiving yards. He had a guy named Joe Ferguson at QB, and as my Aaron Rodgers ways, I stat watched, and he was god awful. Devin, he did all this in 14 games.
14 mother. What was his yards per carry?
6.
Yeah. 14 fucking games?
But Jamal's was 5.3.
Yes.
Now,
14 fucking games.
Here's the thing.
Guys can't do that in 17 games.
Bro, it's like really fun to say. It's really fun to talk about. It's really like, haha. What if there was a slim chance that if you put any of these guys or any guys in the league right now in 1973 and told them to rush for 2,000 yards, or OJ just might have been a little more advanced and ahead of his time. And I mean, it was 2003 yards.
Sure.
So when we're
CJ
really,
2K's was 2006.
that's what I'm saying. So, when we're talking 2,000-yard rushing seasons, we're talking.
All of them have done it by a little bit. Eric Dickerson did it by the most, and that's 100 and what?
105, yeah.
It's not that much over 2,000. Anyone who's ever done it, it's been slim.
I mean,
Could be
he was a carry away from not getting 2,000 yards. He averaged.
So was AP.
He averaged 6 yards a carry. No, AP wasn't.
No, CJ 2K. 2006.
No.
A carry.
No, 5.6.
2 carries away.
Yeah, he was 2 carries away, but OJ's the only one a carry away from not hitting 2,000 in his entire list.
In 14 fucking games.
It's 1973.
No one's thrown for 50 touchdowns in 14 games.
How can we sit here and hate on what all these old NBA basketball players put up, but we can't sit here and do that to OJ?
Because OJ was the only one doing it.
Bro. Come on.
It took 11 years for another motherfucker to do it with 2 more games.
Okay, I mean, I'm telling you right now. I'm just letting you know right now. OJ has no chance versus the monster that is CJ 2K. So if you want to just let him move on and get his ass busted by someone that was
maybe
a way
I'm not
better
saying
athlete than him,
OJ should do it, but he did do it.
I'll let him move on for the 2-game difference. I'll give you that. He also was the only one to carry away from not getting 2,000 yards, but it's cool.
But that's semantics.
Hey, that's what this bracket is about, God damn it.
Well, everyone else in the list is a game away from not making it, and they all played 16.
Okay.
So
OJ,
none of them could have done it in 14.
Well, OJ's a fucking murderer, so I just wanted to see a Raven move.
No, he's not.
Murderer, but it's cool. It's fine.
The glove did not fit.
2012.
Now, imagine you did that in like a lower profile case. That's not beating anything.
No. Way more dumb shit has gotten people off.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a lawyer.
2012 AP, 1998 Terrell Davis. When you take out team success and you just talk about the years, like
Adrian,
like to me, tearing your ACL and running for 2,000 a year later is a little more impressive than running for 2,000 yards in 1973 in 2 less games.
Now, some dudes in the MLB who tear their UCL and get Tommy John surgery come back better.
What the fuck are we talking about right now? We're talking about baseball?
Sometimes it makes you a little bit stronger. Sometimes it don't,
Well, I think it's been known that ACL tears definitely will slow down a running back's career.
Yes.
When it comes to being efficient.
The only reason that TD won MVP is because of other team success. He had easily the best team out of any of these guys by 3 miles.
Yeah, he's the only one that ran for 2,000 yards and won a Super Bowl that year and had,
and made it past the fucking wild card round and made it fucking conference championship.
Yeah, did it something.
Who had an MVP quarterback and a fucking Hall of Fame quarterback. None of these guys had dick.
That just shows you that, the entire team around him was made to be very successful.
But when we talk about the Ravens, it's like they have to have a good passing game to set up the run game. Or maybe vice versa, whatever it is. A lot of these guys did it with virtually no passing game, and it's just all run game. You know what they're going to do. They're going to run. AP's gonna
Yeah.
run. AP's gonna get the ball.
Yeah, it's like when you looked at Minnesota, you were like, "Damn, are the Vikings going to try to beat us with AP or Christian Ponder?" Hmm.
Maybe they're gonna throw 50 times. How about
Probably
not?
AP.
Probably not.
2009 CJ2K, 1973 OJ. I told you he wasn't passing this round. I told you. I told you he wasn't. Look,
You sure
CJ2K
about that? That's why.
put up 2,500 plus total yards.
Uh,
Which, if you want to talk about today's game versus 1973's game, I think Chris Johnson would have put up 5,000 yards versus any defense in 1973.
also,
And
OJ wouldn't have beaten the all-time rushing record with receiving yards.
what do you mean?
Like his total yards fell short of the all-time rushing record of Eric Dickerson.
Yeah, and with his receiving yards, it still wouldn't pass it.
Yeah, it would
It'd
not
be
pass.
5,000, or it'd be 2,073. So there you go.
2007. Yeah,
But
sure.
I don't know, bro. I think Chris Johnson is a different type of beast when it comes to. I mean, I don't know, bro. It's Chris
That
Johnson.
round, I think we had to give respect to OJ doing it in 14 games, doing it in the 70s. The first person to do it, the only person to do it. I think he deserved that.
Sure. 2009 Chris Johnson, 2012 AP. We got our end all, be all. Which makes sense. I expected this type of matchup. Now here's the thing. 2012 Adrian Peterson, he ran for. I mean, let's just compare. Let's just start by comparing. So 2,097 yards to Chris Johnson's 2,006 yards. 12 touchdowns for AP, 14 for CJ. AP averaged 6 yards per carry with 348 attempts. 358 attempts for Chris Johnson, 5.6 yards per carry. 131 yards a game for AP, 125 yards a game for CJ. Both played in 16 games. Now, a big point towards AP, I would say, is the fact that he did this after tearing an ACL. Chris Johnson did this in his second year in the league.
Yeah,
And if you remember, I mean, Chris Johnson's prime came and went pretty quickly.
fairly quickly.
Which I mean, obviously is a shame, but this was definitely the highlight year, the year when it comes like if Chris Johnson was gonna run for 2,000 yards, it was gonna be
That year.
this around this time. What
Yeah.
made your eyes blow up? What
I did the math on yards per game for
mhm.
OJ. 143.
Yeah, I have it
A
written
lot.
down. You could have just asked me.
I know you didn't say it.
I know I had it. Yeah, 143 yards per game. But what was I saying? Oh, Chris Johnson. See, Chris Johnson did in his second year. AP
Yeah.
does this a year after tearing his ACL.
When did
But
AP hit the league?
2007, 2008. I don't fucking know. 2009. When did he come in the league?
Drafted.
I gave you 3 years, so something in there.
First season was 07, yeah.
Okay.
He was rookie of the year. He was I forgot he was MVP.
But Chris Johnson,
He was MVP and Oak Boy in 2012.
dude, Chris Johnson put up 500 receiving yards too.
I know.
So
Sure.
I'm not gonna sit here and go, oh, but it's only 500. No, 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 no. He had 2,500 total yards. He had 2,000 yards rushing, and was also able to produce 500 yards receiving. Which can we do a fact check? Can we fact check that year real quick for the Tennessee Titans? I just want to see Pro Football Reference. If we go to Tennessee, I just want to see something real quick.
CJ2K was Oak Boy that year.
Ah, okay. Well, there you go. I didn't write down that accolade. That's hilarious. But
He was Oak Boy.
I want to go to 2000 and what 9, And I just want to check out the Tennessee Titans, and I want to go down to their receivers.
CJ was in Arizona. I forgot. He played all the way up to 2017. He ain't doing a damn thing.
So the receivers for the Titans, you had Kenny Britt who had 700 yards. You had Nate Washington that had 569 yards. And then you had their running back who had to run for 2,000 yards, came in third with 500 yards receiving. He was one of their best receivers.
And the league's best rusher.
He was one of their best receivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, we've been gassing the ACL tear this whole time, but I can't convince myself to not think it's CJ at this point.
Yeah.
I know it's not talked about as much. I know it's not. It doesn't seem like it's as praised as some of these other years. But when you break it down like that, and you look at how impactful he was, and it wasn't. I mean, when we talk about, I mean, I think one of our favorite things from players is versatility, and the fact that he's able to be one of only 8 players to run for 2,000 yards, and then also be a top 3 receiver on the team, mind you. Were they the best targets ahead of him? Maybe not, but shit, he had. I mean, he had to do that. He had to do that for them to go what 8-8, 8-8,
Yeah.
8-8, not even make the playoffs. I mean,
Yeah.
put put a
CJ.
put a team around him, and he has a ring just like Terrell Davis that year. It's plain. It is very
For
simple.
sure.
Waste.
CJ led all running back that year by almost 600 yards and 10 more touchdowns.
And people keep talking about how receivers' careers get ruined in Tennessee. Can we not talk about how Tennessee wastes running backs' careers?
Oh,
They waste CJ's career. They
they're
waste
the only
Derek
team
Miller's
with
career.
two thousanders.
Bro, correct me if I'm wrong. DeMarco Murray left the Cowboys for the Titans.
He may have, but DeMarco was ruined by the time he left the Cowboys.
But was he? Was he? Fact
Yeah,
check DeMarco
yeah.
Murray's Pro Football Reference for me, because I feel like
DeMarco.
I don't know if he
DeMarco.
was. I don't know if he was necessarily done
DeMarco.
when he was going. I don't
DeMarco
know.
was
I was just trying to think of other Titans running backs, because it'd be interesting to Eddie George. I mean, years of just great running backs wasted.
DeMarco ran for 18 in 2014 with Dallas. The year after, went to Philly.
When did he? So when did he
Started
play in
in
Tennessee?
8 games, ran for 700, but played for Tennessee the year after, ran for 1,200.
Look at
So
that,
had a
dude.
second.
That's what I'm
He had
saying.
his second best season with Tennessee.
Running backs go to Tennessee and have great careers or great seasons, and Tennessee can't do shit with them.
But also, like, how have they produced so many good running back seasons?
I don't know.
What's the secret?
I don't know. That's a good question. But I will say that I think it's CJ.
Yish.
I think it's CJ, Devin.
Yes.
If you disagree, we can flip a coin for the final. But
No, I agree, but we all know who's the winner in all of our hearts.
who? Jamal Lewis?
No, dude.
Yeah, that's my winner.
My winner.
That's my winner. God damn it.
My winner's right here, dude.
With that being said, though, we talked the
Orenthal.
no. We
Jim
talked
Simpsons.
the 8 2,000-yard rushing seasons. We talked the 10 MVP candidates for the NBA. We predicted all Week 17's games. It's time to get out of here. Are there any last words before we do get out of here?
You think Orenthal would be a bad baby name? I think I might name my first son Orenthal. I think that'd be pretty sick. His middle name might be different. Maybe he can be like OP. OP Simpsons. But I think Orenthal's a great name. It's a cool name.
You should probably sleep on that and think about it. Let me know next episode where Orenthal ranks in your baby names in the future. Um, but with
One or
that
two.
being said, brand new episodes every Tuesday and Saturday, Saturday, Tuesday. We'll be back on Tuesday to talk all of Week 17's games, to talk Week 18 Thursday Night Football, to talk another bracket, whatever the hell we want to talk about. It has been me. It has been Devin. It has been real. We are out.